If you've been living under a rock, first of all, nice to meet you. Second, you probably don't know about the ripples that Wuthering Waves is making in the gacha sphere within the Genshin community. While any normal person could look at these games and acknowledge them for what they are, it seems that the Genshin community puts up a lot of resistance instead. In a video I made titled, "It's Over for Wuthering Waves," I go through a fellow content creator's perspective on why Wuthering Waves would fail. Interestingly enough, this content creator's a Genshin player who self-admits to not knowing anything about the game several times, but says that he will be critiquing it anyway, and that Wuthering Waves is just trying to be Genshin. I don't agree with doom posting to any degree before the release of a game, but even less so when there isn't any good reason to. This type of content is not good for the community and only serves to sow chaos. While chaos can be a good thing used to incite change, in many cases people just cause chaos for the wrong reasons, or simply just to make a bag while defending a game they play or the content they make, while even knowing that their opinion is objectively wrong. An example of this would be a comment I received under another previous video titled, "Unbelievable, Genshin content creators exposed." In the video, I am reacting to a content creator justifying why he thinks 4-star viability is superior in Genshin compared to Star Rail. I go on to make counterpoints and explain how this seems like a blind opinion to me. After letting the video rest for a while, I come back and I see a comment. The comment reads, "LOL, exposed for being correct? You have no idea what you're talking about." We exchange a few replies in which I would explain the characters that have actually become more viable due to new units supporting them, that we have multiple in-game pieces of content, along with each of those pieces of content needing about 2 teams to finish. His last comment, as opposed in this video, wrote, "Legit, read what you wrote, please. Honkai does an overall worse job than Genshin at characters retaining viability. Honkai has, what, 2 viable 4-star units that are comparable to 5-star? Genshin has, like, he listed 5 to 7 4-star characters that are better than 5 stars. You do the basic math and tell me which has more." And then he puts in parentheses, "And those 4-star dot units in HSR are shit. You'll be wasting your resources making a team for them, just to be clear. 2 to 3 cycling is slower, but it's your game. You do you. Don't attack other YouTuber with an objectively wrong take." This confused me, as I didn't say Honkai does a worse job at balancing 4-star viability, the other content creator did. He also, just apparently, is taking the other content creator's word in regards to which characters are viable. Not to mention, even if you are to take this creator's words at face value, Genshin has been out since 2020, while Star Rail has been out for barely a year. I would hope Genshin devs have learned to do a better job at balancing characters by now. And toward the end of this comment, he didn't even sound like he was defending the creator anymore, calling his take objectively wrong. I also feel like this commenter doesn't really understand the definition of viability, so here's a helpful definition to define it for you. The term viability means ability to work successfully. There is a massive difference between viability and popularity, although people in the gacha space would have you believe they're synonymous. For something to be viable in a PvE game like Star Rail, Genshin, and Wuthering Waves, it simply needs to do the job well, or even decently. In Honkai, there is a term called a cycle. A cycle is a fully rotated, team-wide, enemy-wide turn where each unit has had its individual turn pass by and the turn counter goes down by 1. Zero cycling, for example, is when a team wipes the content within the first turn. Most, if not all, current content in the game requires you to beat the content within 10 cycles to get one of the 3 stars for each mission. Almost every character in Honkai can do this successfully on their appropriate teams. It seems that there is a misconception where players watch Giga Whale's zero cycling and think that's what you have to accomplish for a team to be viable, and that's simply untrue. Genshin fans seem to try and find every little tiny thing possible for why no other game can compare to theirs, and it's getting ridiculous at this point. Long story short, Genshin fans confuse me.